Well, it's Miami week, Battle of the Bricks. Got some much needed time off, a couple of days. It's not a typical normal week off, but we have 10 days I think to the next one, and the guys we need it. It's coming at a perfect time. I think we played 8 straight. Miami's done the same thing, I think, looking at their schedule. So we're going to put it to good use with getting the guys, hopefully getting some guys back health-wise. I think got your typical bumps and bruises that everybody's going to go through 8 straight, and so we're going to utilize that to our advantage, best that we can. Looking back on the game Saturday, the kids continue to show tremendous courage. I mean, they play extremely hard. I couldn't be prouder of what they're doing effort-wise. As a coaching staff, we just got to find a way to get them over the hump, and we're a play or two away from winning games, and that's my responsibility. Coaching staffs, nobody hates to lose more than me. Nobody, and the staff is doing all the right things. Yes, you constantly evaluating the best 11 guys and those things, and next man up mentality when you got guys banged up. But on the kids' effort, I couldn't be prouder with those guys hanging in there and battling. So that's.
Coach, obviously, they've having this bye week right before the Battle of the Bricks, obviously very big rivalry game. Does this, there hasn't been a break like this for you guys this season since the game after Louisiana going into Northwestern. Is this kind of a 10 days for you guys to kind of step back and reflect and saying, here's what happened during the first half of the schedule, here's what we can improve. What is going to be going into this for this town?
Yeah, I think that just where we are injury-wise, we're actually. I told the players prior to the game, what our schedule was coming out of the game. After talking with the Matthias and the training staff, we're actually having to change practice plan because of injuries. We have so many guys that are banged up that can't go. We're actually giving today, tomorrow off, and we're scheduled to go tomorrow. And we're having to adjust that because of where we are and practice later in the week. And we're scheduled to have that flipped and give them some time off towards the end of the week. So we're going to, again, make that adjustment. It's a smart thing to do, and because I anticipate getting 3 or 4 guys back by the game, by next Tuesday's game. Versus Miami, and I think that's a smart thing as far as just the health of the team.
Is there anyone you're anticipating to be able to come back in these next 10 days of rest, or is there anyone that might not be able to make it back against Miami?
Yeah, right now, I anticipate Justin Perchette to get back to help. That will help in the back end. I think Michael Ballantyne's going to have a good chance to get back, who also plays in the back end. That going into the game, that's where we were really thin. And I'm hoping to get those 2 guys back, which will help. But we're going to lose Peter for a substantial amount of time, possibly for the year. I will know after he gets back from seeing the doctor. But he's pretty tender with that knee, and so we gained one, but we lost one. So we'll have to see how that goes.
I know that each conference game is vital, but is there any added sense of excitement on taking on such a storied rival after you didn't get the chance to last season?
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and it's Miami, so we didn't get a chance to play last year because of the pandemic, and our guys are going to look forward to it. It's like you said, it's a rival game, and our guys will be excited for it. I think it's great for college football. It's great for our conference. Battle of the Bricks, and it's. I've been here a long time. We've had some really close games. These last couple we've played they've been a field goal difference. And so I know they'll be excited for it, and I certainly know we will. Looking forward to. I'm glad we're playing at home.
Obviously, Coach Chuck Martin's been, I think he might be one of the longest, if not the longest tenured coach in the MAC. You've gone up against him a good bit. What are some of the biggest challenges he brings to the table as a coach? Obviously, I believe he rebuilt Miami's program from the bottom up.
Yes, he just done a great job. I know Chuck through Coach Solich really, and got a chance to meet him. Shaking his hand after the game, before the game, I should say. But he's done a great job. I'm really good friends with the defensive coordinator. Spence and I got a history. Good friend of mine, so I got some added fuel there, being my background being on offense and his being on defense. But they've done a good job there. Built that facility. They've recruited well. I think defensively they are one of the top in our league. I would say they win with their defense. I know not to take anything away with what from their offense, but they've got some really good, talented pass rushers on the edge. Linebacker, Sam Linebacker does a good job. Mike Brown, I believe, is what I wrote down there in my notes. And they're play hard, physical, very sound in what they do. Take care of the football. Kind of like what we're used to around here with running the ball, stopping the run, not turning it over.
Coach, obviously, bringing up this topic again, like we mentioned after the Ohio game, Curtis obviously threw a career high day, career high passing and rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Armani was pulled pretty early in that game, and you said before that the quarterbacks and the start goes to the quarterback with a hot hand. But now both of the quarterbacks over the past 3 games have had very hot hands. Does that kind of muddy the quarterback battle a little bit?
Yeah, I think what I said after the game, they're both going to get equal reps. That was going to continue. If you just by Curtis's performance, if we're starting today, he'd start the game. That's what I anticipate. With where he's at. And there were positives, and. We just felt like it 10-0. I think 10-0. The turnovers were they weren't Armani's fault. But there's just a couple of things we thought just a change of pace, momentum-wise, and as it played out, it was the right call. You don't have a crystal ball. You got to go off your gut, and that's what we felt as a staff is to make the change, and we were able to get some things done. There's some things to build off of, for sure. And moving forward, we're going to have to, find the formula to play 4 quarters. I think that Buffalo, we had penalties. This game was turnovers. There's it's been a different theme, and we gotta get it cleaned up. I gotta coach better. I gotta find a way to get those 2 or 3 plays in the 4th quarter. And that's what we got to get done.
Is that gut feeling kind of coming a lot easier now? Because it kind of seemed, in the game against, I'm sorry, I'm blanking right now. In the game on Saturday. Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry.
It's all right.
It kind of seemed like it was a lot more sudden to pull Armani, or kind of you had more, knowledge to pull him earlier and bring in Curtis. Is that gut feeling kind of becoming more of a quick twitch, kind of, a bit more to pull them or bring them in?
Yeah, I think that particular moment, it was, again, 10-0, and we had, a 3rd and 4 we didn't convert, and then we had another 3 and out. And, and I just felt like, hey, we gotten maybe 1 first down, in those 3 series. And I'm not saying it was Armani's fault. We got to block better. We got to do things better. It's just, I just thought it was a change that needed to take place, and our defense, we put them in some tough spots in the first half with the turnovers. They played more snaps than what they, should, and due to the turnovers, and they kept us in the game. And it's hard to win a game with 3 turnovers, and especially 2 of them inside the opponent's red zone, with not getting any points. And we had a chance in the second half. So.
Going back to Miami's dangerous front 7, the running backs, they had a bit of a slow start against Kent State. Just what's the plan to get them more involved more quickly on Tuesday?
Yeah, again, everything goes through the running game with us. And Kent, tip of the hat. They did a good job mixing the fronts up. You know, we had to adjust some things in the running game against them. You know, I said this after the game. You know, the throwing game, we used the throwing game to fix a few things. You know, too many guys in the core, you know, against Kent. I think the throwing game loosened up the running game. You know, we did some things at the line of scrimmage with the quarterbacks. They handled it well. You know, I think that the running back wise, you're going to see DeMontre, O'Shawn. You're going to see CA. You know, Julian's still out with a hamstring. You're going to see both of them in the game at the same time. We've tried to have a couple different things with using two backs in the game. You know, it's been effective for us. Moving forward, I think there's some things to build off of using more than one running back in the game at the same time.
Yeah, Miami has looks like they start or play at least two quarterbacks, A.J. Meyer and then Brett Gabbert. Obviously, faced Brett Gabbert 2 years ago. What kind of challenge is that? I know you've had that situation a few times with Northwestern. What's the challenge preparing for two quarterbacks rather than one, because you don't know,
right,
I guess at this point, who's going to get the majority of the reps?
We'll prepare for both. That's all you can do. You know, our guys on defense will have a plan, and I don't think we'll have a plan for one and a plan for another. Both the quarterbacks at Miami, they're efficient. You know, they're game managers. You know. They take care of the football. You know, they're coached well. So I think from our side of it, we'll have a plan. You know, and try to do some disguising. You know, that you know, mixed in some man coverage. We're going to still be aggressive back there. But I anticipate our guys on defense to be ready to go, whomever's in the game.
Coach, just one thing from me. You know, this season has been very rough for you guys, whether it be injuries or just the small mistakes that have been piling up. Is there anything that you guys can kind of hang your hat on or just keep morale going through this last stretch of the season?
Yeah, without question, the leadership from the elders, you know, has been outstanding. The effort, again, repeating myself, the team has showed tremendous amount of character, courage, you know, with the things that, you know, whether the injuries and next man up mentality. I think our culture's on full display with their effort. I really do. My heart breaks we've got a very passionate fan base. I know they're disappointed, you know, and that's tough on anybody. You know, I'm an extreme competitor. I understand the frustration of our fan base. They have every right to be upset. I understand. But what we're going through, we're so close. But my glass is going to continue to be half full, and we're going to keep coaching our tails off. And this coaching staff's going to find a way to make a few of those plays in the fourth quarter, and the reward's coming. I know it. I'm going to look them straight in the eye at 2:10 today and tell them those exact same words. The reward's coming, and they keep working, and I know they're going to.
Midweek games, that can kind of make for a crazy schedule just with student athletes having classes maybe that day and the day after. And I know you went through something kind of similar with Louisiana this year, but just in general, what's the plan on just keeping them de-stressed and keeping them on track, mixing academics and athletics? Yeah,
that's a great point, because you're playing midweek games, and really it's more of a distraction when you're at home. You know, we have a conference rule; they have to attend class up to noon, I believe. You know, and it's a night game. So, if you're on the road in one of those games, which we have for every year. You know, you're at the hotel. You know, and so you can control their day with a meeting here or a walk through there. You know, and at home it's like high school. You know, you wear your jersey and you go to school. And until 3 o'clock, you know, and you play at 7 o'clock, you know, so it's got that element to it. But we'll try to keep it as routine as we can after lunch. You know, we'll have a little bit of a little meeting in the afternoon with the night game kickoff. I think the guys, we have enough older guys on this roster that's gone through it that can help a guy like Torrey Cox, Bradley Weaver, some of these young guys. You know, they can put their arm around them and kind of walk them through it. and the younger guys, they're like in the two I mentioned, they're true freshmen. They're used to going to school and on game day because that's what you did in high school, as I mentioned earlier. So there's a good mixture there. And in my 17th season here and doing this, the staff will have them ready to go.
Is there any added excitement in the student athletes? You know, obviously with these midweek games, the chance of being on national television, ESPN. Do you sense like any type of added excitement with those opportunities?
I certainly think so. With it's the chance for them to show, go and display on again, it's the national stage with NIL. Name, image, likeness, their brand. I think it's an opportunity for the guys. I certainly anticipate, it's Battle of the Bricks. That's going to be some excitement to it. So it should be, we shouldn't have any problem with our guys being locked in and ready to go.
I noticed that Torrey Cox, he's always one of the first names you mentioned when you mentioned some of the younger guys. Just how do you think this year, with a lot of adversity and a lot of injuries in the secondary, how is that like? Do you think there's been an acceleration in his growth, and do you think he's adjusted well to any role he's had to take on? I mentioned Torrey, and I see him every day, in practice, as I do all of them. But Torrey is very talented. He's maybe a little undersized right now. He's a true freshman, But after moving forward, we get in the off season, we'll be able to change that, a little bit. But he just he's got a knack just to get to the ball. In practice, he's made some really amazing plays. Guys that may be taller at receiver, he just finds a way to get a hand in there and get the ball out. And he's got extremely good ball skills. At some point in time, you may see him be a returner for us. He's certainly a bright spot with our young guys for sure.